Hey everyone, and welcome to episode number 43 of the Unknown Games podcast, creeping ever closer to 50.
Death, yeah.
Wow. Oh, that was serious. That was Alex, my co-host.
Sup, I'm Alex.
Who has more energy today? You know, I talked to someone over the weekend, and they listened to the podcast, and they were like, "Yo, I really want to meet that Alex guy."
Really?
I want to see. They want to see how much energy you have in real life. They want to compare.
This much. I just finished drinking a Monster actually, so.
See, that's what it was.
That's probably it. I got the big size, like the biggest can you can get in Japan, which is 350 ml. Let me double check here.
Wait, that's pretty small though, still, right? Like. Oh no, I think I know the one you're talking about.
It's 500. It's 500.
Okay.
That's the biggest one you can get in Japan.
Because everything's smaller in Japan. Not bigger, smaller.
What's the biggest Red Bull size you can get in America? Is it like a liter?
I don't know. A liter? Jeez, I hope not. That's crazy.
Maybe, I don't know, because whenever I go home and I go to the grocery store, you have a huge selection of energy drinks, like way more than Japan.
We have, yeah.
And I remember last time I went home, I was like, whoa, those are big. Like, those are unnaturally big can sizes.
You have some unnaturally
Japan,
big cans.
yeah, they're capped off at 500 ml, which probably is for the better, but yeah.
It's for the better. And their energy drinks are even smaller. They're just like little pads of shots, basically. Yeah. But, hey, this is episode number 43. Welcome to the Unknown Games podcast, everyone, where we talk about video games, our lives in Japan, because Alex and I, we do live in the great land of Japan.
Glorious Nippon.
Glorious. There's a flag going up somewhere in the background, but probably, or people trying to throw us out. I don't know, but hey, we do live here, and we've been here for like 8-9 years. I keep saying 9 because it's gonna come true really soon.
Yeah, next year, yeah.
Exactly. Hopefully next year is better than this year, 2020.
If you count the year you were here for school, it would be 9.
It would be 9. Yeah. I'd be getting on my decades,
yeah,
ready.
that scares me, to be honest.
I've lived I've lived my entire adult life in Japan. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I say the same thing. So I'm like, I tell people like, yeah, I grew up in Canada, but I became an adult in Japan.
It's crazy because like when people ask, because people have a thing like in Japan, we're already talking about Japan, but like people assume that we've lived in our countries for such a long time that we kind of know the culture, and we do, like, but we don't know current culture. And what's crazy is we don't know like oh, in the office place in America, how do you guys work?
Yeah,
I'm like,
exactly.
I don't know. I can't tell you. I literally can't tell you. I don't know what we do in the US.
Yeah, people are like, oh, what's it like having a job in Canada? I'm like, I don't know. I've never worked in Canada.
It's so, and like I realize simple, like, well, I guess simple things, but like things like, moving. I've never had to move in the U.S., but I've moved like 2 or 3 times
in Japan. Yeah,
like I guess you count college, but that's just it's college. I don't know how to search for an apartment in the U.S. I don't even know how to get my license in the U.S. outside of my first license, but I know how to do it here, and I know how to rent a car in Japan. Like it's freaky.
Yeah. I mean, I'm the same way. Like I kind of started doing all the adult stuff in Japan, so like paying taxes, getting a pension, like just doing all that adult kind of stuff. Like I've never done it back home. So anyways,
luckily half of it's done somewhat for us.
Oh yeah, that's one of the good things about being in Japan.
Yeah, we go back, we're gonna be lost as heck. Like, can I get a crash course? But yeah, anyways, everybody, it's a great day. It's honestly, things have been picking up here in Japan. We just came off of a 4-day weekend, which is, I don't know if it's rare. I feel like they've been trying to give us more weekends here in Japan.
Oh my god, we rarely get 4-day weekends in Japan. We get 3-day weekends every now and then, but 4 is exceedingly rare.
Was rare, and one of those days was, of course, because the Olympics were supposed to start. So we had Sports Day, And then we also had, was it Mountain Day? No,
C
Sea
Day.
Day. Sea
C
Day.
Day.
Sea Day.
Mountain Day is next month.
And I think that's another 4-day weekend, right?
I know. I think it's a 3-day weekend.
3-day weekend? Okay. Around this time when school starts, at the beginning of each school semester in Japan, in April and in September, I think, there's a lot of holidays. And you're like, are you even in school? Like, are you even doing anything?
Oh, yeah. September is, what is it? It's called Silver Week. It's like nicknamed Silver Week. Yeah.
Yeah, after Golden Week. So you get, I think it's usually 4 days off instead of 5 days. The proper max of Golden Week, I think, is like 5 days.
Yeah.
And then the weekend. So it's like a whole 7 days, like a whole week. Yeah. Anyways, we're going to talk about some games today. We've got some cool things, lots of news that happened. Of course, the Xbox showcase. We've also got Shin Megami Tensei. We called that. I'm just saying. We summoned it.
The remake of
we
Nocturne?
we summoned the remake. We've been talking about it for so long on this podcast.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, I want DDS more personally, but
hey, Digital Devil Saga, it'll come back if we keep saying it enough.
It's like Candyman in the mirror.
Exactly. Or Beetlejuice or something.
Yeah,
It'll happen. And
DDS.
After that, I guess, well, we have a couple of closing news. So this is going to be fun and maybe a top 5 list of drinks here in Japan. So starting out, we're going to talk about, as always, what we've been playing. And I don't know. Alex, what have you been up to? What have you been playing?
I'm still playing Crosscode. I'm almost done, actually. So I thought I was going to finish it over the weekend, but I guess I didn't.
It was like me and Last of Us.
But no, I'm almost done it. And after Crosscode, maybe it's good timing. I don't know. Because I'm going to be jumping to a JRPG called FFVII, which is from the Neptunia series, which I'm sure you've heard of it, right?
Yeah, the Hyper Neptune.
Yeah. So the one this year, they do pretty much a Neptunia game almost every year. Close to it. So the one this year is kind of crazy because it's it's not a crossover game, but like, yeah. So the premise is that like the girls are now VTubers, and what's cool about this one is that it has cameos from actual real VTubers.
Like, are you able to play as them, or are they just like non-playable characters that are just in your party kind of thing?
I think some of them are playable, but regardless, they show up as themselves in this video game.
How?
And the premise is just so intriguing to me that I'm gonna go ahead and I'm not gonna beat it. I'm not promising that I'm gonna beat it, but I do promise that I will like buy it and like play for like at least like an hour or 2 hours.
Have you played any of the Hyper Neptunia games before? I've only seen the cover. I've never actually seen gameplay.
Sure.
Are they good? Are they actually good, like on reputation?
That's a really good question. It depends on who you ask. So, I mean, the niche of that series, so the people that like that game series, like really like that game series. For everyone else, though, I would say it's like, I'm going to get like flamed maybe by someone, but like, I would say it's like mediocre to a little better than mediocre at best. Like, they're okay games. I'll admit, like, the art is basically like the most attractive part of that game. Like, the characters look really nice. They like, the merchandise is really good. Like, the figures of them. Yeah, the figures are especially like really good. So I've tried on multiple occasions to get into this series. I tried to get it on the PS3, like the very first one that came out. And then I tried to get like the remake kind of remaster on the Vita. That didn't work out for me. I tried one of the spin-off games on Vita.
Really tried. You really tried
also,
to get into it.
Yeah. And then, what is it, last year maybe, or maybe 2 years ago, I can't remember. The newest one in the series called Super Neptunia RPG. That's the English name. It was made by a Canadian studio, actually. So
really?
It was brand new. Yeah,
it's
this
like
kind of brand new, like unknown Canadian studio kind of had their hand in making a Neptunia game, which is pretty crazy. The fact that like Combat Heart would just kind of pass off one of their key franchises to a relatively new foreign studio. So I got it. I was curious because it has like a cool storybook kind of art style. It's made by a Canadian studio. Has like this a kind of, I guess, maybe interesting battle system. So I gave it a shot. I bought it on PS4, I played through it, and I would say I beat it. It was, and at best, mediocre.
It was one of those one of those anime games. I mean, unfortunately for a lot of the games in the anime genre, they do run a course of being just what they are. Just they're there.
And then after I beat it, I mean, I didn't hate it. I didn't love it, but I didn't hate it. But one of the newer ones, the previous game was on sale on Steam. It was like Mega Dimension Neptunia V2R, whatever it is. So I bought it. It was really cheap. And I played it for about maybe an hour and a half. And you know, couldn't really get through it. So that's my relationship with this game series, is that I've tried multiple times. I've tried many times to really get into it, but haven't. Aside from Super Neptunia RPG, and you know, it was an okay game. I guess.
What I was gonna say is, like, these were characters originally based around platforms,
consoles,
right?
Yes.
Like there's like one's a Sega Genesis or Master System.
Sure, yeah, one something. Of the like. Well, no, sorry. So the original characters is based off Xbox 360, the Wii, and the PS3.
Yeah, that's right.
And then they have little sisters that are based off handhelds. So like the are they maybe like Game Gear? Anyways, they have sisters.
They have sisters.
They have little sisters. Yeah. And then you're thinking of the Sega Hard Girls, which are like Sega characters, kind of.
Sega Hard Girls.
Yeah, and then they had a crossover game. It was like something with Sega Hard Girls, and then they had the Sega Hard Girls basically, you know, cameo as in this game series. But yeah, so there are Sega characters based off the Sega consoles, like the Dreamcast and the Saturn and whatever. Okay, but they're not Neptunia characters. But anyways, yeah.
Okay, so I guess like the thing is I guess the easiest thing to compare it to is like, and it's really similar to like how you try to get into the Atelier. You're gonna have to
Atelier series.
Yeah. And I feel like it's kind of similar in that sense, where it's just it is a niche. It is very much a niche, but maybe this will be their Ryza. Maybe
yeah, because actually I really enjoyed Ryza. Actually, I would recommend Ryza. I would not recommend Super Neptunia RPG.
Which is it still on sale right now for 39% off?
Oh, Ryza? I think it might have been. Let me double check. I actually open Steam right now. Yeah.
If not, it might be over by the end of this pod.
Well, by the time, it's on sale. It's on sale right now. I think it ends on August 3rd. So by the time this podcast goes up, it'll still be on sale.
It'll still be on sale. So if you want to get that
will be
Ryza,
anyways. Yeah.
Yeah. Grab that Ryza. Grab it.
So after Super Neptunia RPG, I was like, I told myself, I'm like, I'm not gonna play this series anymore. Like, it's not like that. I mean, I'm like, I'm not gonna play the series anymore.
You want it for the VTubers, just
VTubers and then this year it was like VV2. I'm like, that's dumb. And then I saw a trailer and I was like, oh wait, that looks crazy. Actually, I'm gonna get that. Yeah.
And so
we'll see how it goes.
We'll see how the life of Hyper Neptunia girls and
it's VTubers. Probably gonna be mediocre at best, but we'll see.
It can't be any worse than that VTuber show that existed. Oh goodness, that was bad.
What VTuber show?
Did you ever watch was it an anime technically? It was just a TV show, like a short that they had for one season during the anime season.
Oh, yeah. I heard of it. I didn't see it. No, I heard of it.
I watched like 4 or 5 episodes, and I was like, I can't do this. I can't do it. It wasn't half bad, but there was just no focus. There was like, it would just hop around, and I'm like, okay, at least now I know a couple of more VTubers.
Okay, I haven't seen it, but the theme song's on Spotify.
Yeah, you can definitely get that.
Anyways, yeah, so I'm gonna finish Crosscode, and then I'm gonna hop over to a new game soon here. But I don't know. What about you?
For me, it was 4-day weekend, so I said I'm going to beat Last of Us Part 2. This is the time. This is it. And I started up, and we're talking to a friend of the show, and I just asked him, I was like, so how far am I? And I feel like I'm like 75%, right? I feel like I'm kind of there.
But you're not actually like
no, I was straight 50%. Yeah. And I understand. And when I got to the 50% mark, I know why it's 50%. It's honestly, and it's not a spoiler, I don't think. But yeah, just say you're playing a different game.
You switch like characters. I actually haven't played the game myself.
Okay.
So
yeah,
I'm probably gonna get to it. I know. Because here's what happened with the first game is like it came out and I heard it was good, but I didn't plan on playing it. But like nobody would shut up about it.
Yeah, the first game was good.
And they're like, oh, you should play it. You should play it. I'm like, okay, fine, I'll play it. And then I played it, and I'm like, yeah, good. It's a good game. Yeah, I liked it. Good game.
It's good. It's good.
So I'll get the second game like eventually.
Yeah, I think if you want to go in terms of like having a fun experience, definitely grab Tsushima over Last of Us Part 2.
Oh,
and then,
right.
And then like for Last of Us Part 2, like honestly, it's just intense. Like I'm still listening, like I'm watching some freaking award winning I don't know, drama series. Like I'm literally just sitting there like, dang.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it pulls it off. It pulls it off. And I think this goes into like the conversation, the games that I've been, I guess you call these games. While Last of Us is a game,
Sure.
on stream, I played a game called Death Come True.
Yeah, from the Danganronpa creator after he left Spike Chunsoft, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And similar to the line of games or interactive FMV movie game genre, so I played Erica, and that was Erica. It was special.
Yeah, how does it compare? Like, which would you?
There's actually a comparison. I can actually make a good comparison because Death Come True, not only myself, but a couple of people in the chat too. It's about 4 hours.
Sure.
And it was good.
Actually good.
Actually good. It was so good. I actually want to go play Danganronpa. And I looked at the trailer and I was like, oh, this is actually like a Danganronpa game, but in actual, like with real people. What I loved about it is, and Erica does this too, like they both have good quality in terms of cinematography or just shooting, whatever. Like you're not going to be watching something that's too, like, it throws you off by like the technical aspects. Those are fine. The actors I thought were really good. They got like good Japanese actors and actresses that you've seen on TV, you've heard their voices. Like they're well known, the comedians, and they even built them into like the bloopers. There's like a little blooper thing called Death Tube, and you can kind of watch outtakes, and it's really funny. And that's what I loved about this game is that unlike Erica, it has those tropes that we kind of talked about, those characters that some of them are kind of joke characters, and some of them are like they take themselves too seriously. And there's there were moments when we came in and we were just like, oh, who is this character? But there's like one character, and no joke, he's wearing these polka dot ugly socks in this like candy cane ugly, like there's that candy cane that has like red, orange, brown, like all those weird colors in it.
No, maybe like the cream kind of orange flavored candy cane.
Yeah, it's not just white and red. There's like 4 or 5 colors in it.
Okay.
He's wearing a suit, and then he's wearing a tie and a shirt underneath it that are those colors, and it looks so tacky. It's the tackiest, ugliest thing I've ever seen. And the main character's girl, she's wearing like this dingy looking fake leather gold suit, pantsuit. It's so whack, but the point of the game is that it's almost like a Groundhog's Day, and you're reliving each, I guess, scenario and trying to advance the story. So you're making a choice to go forward and proceed this way or proceed that way.
Okay. Yeah. And then you have to jump backwards in time to get the full story.
Right. So you jump back in time only because you die.
So
that's
here's
what
the
makes
thing.
the game take a long time.
Yeah, what you're describing right now, I actually think if you like that idea, I think you should actually play either AI Somnium Files or the Zero Escape series instead of Danganronpa. But Danganronpa is still good. You should play it regardless.
Okay.
Because Danganronpa has like a linear story. Like there's only one way. Obviously there's only one way for things to go in this game as well. Death Come True.
Yeah, Death Come True was just like that. There's really only one way, but you have to make the mistake and die.
Right. Yeah.
Get to the right way. Yeah.
The thing with Danganronpa is like if you die, you just like you have to continue and not make that same choice. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Yeah. What you're describing, I think you would honestly be like, if you like that idea of restarting and then try to figure out like the truth, like to figure out like what path is the right way, you should check out AI Somnium Files or Zero Escape. In those games, you have to die to get the true story.
Okay.
So I don't know if it's a spoiler to mention this for games like Zero Escape, but the game really plays up the idea of multiple timelines and like shared consciousness. I can't pronounce that word. Shared consciousness among humans, and like just the idea that parallel universes exist, and the fact that you make the wrong choice is, it's like intentional. Like you have to know the wrong choice in order to make the right choice. And information from the bad timeline is necessary to progress in the good timeline. Like for example, I guess without giving too much away, is like down the wrong timeline where you eventually die. Let's say you learn like a code or something, like some kind of numbers that don't mean anything to you at that time. You're like, what are these numbers? I don't know. And then you die. And then in this other timeline where you make some different choices, you're suddenly presented with, let's say, like a bomb, and you're like, where do I get this code? I don't know. And then in the game, like if you have yet to go down that one timeline, you cannot progress in that one because you don't know what the defuse code is. And then you have
to start. Oh, and that's exactly how Death Come True is. That's exactly. It's that type.
Yeah. So if you like that, if you're like, that's awesome, like that's fun, you should definitely check out Zero Escape or AOS Omnium Files.
I'm going to take your advice on that, because I actually started looking at some of those games after I played it. And for anyone, if you're listening, definitely go give Death Come True a try. It has English subtitles. It has English UI, so you can understand everything. Of course, if you're like us, we're listening to it. I'm like, okay, I'm listening to the Japanese, and it's all good. But it's got just enough quirkiness in it, and just enough fun factor and everything that it really walks the line. I want to see more in this kind of FMV. I don't know what genre this is. Like,
just like the adventure genre, maybe.
Adventure genre, yeah.
It's kind of like it would be a visual novel if it weren't like all spoken, basically, right?
And then if it were all playable, it would be a David Cage game.
Sure, yeah.
It's in that line, right? It's in that line. So, and this is what I was talking to another friend about this, and what would be awesome, and it would take so much money, because they have to shoot the scenes from different angles sometimes, or reshooting the same thing
every choice that you make, right?
For every choice. But if you could do a battle royale like this, like it's a set story, like the movie Battle Royale, or
it's just kind of like a choose your own adventure, right? To try not to die.
Yes, but you can choose between 4 different people, or like X amount of people, and play it through their different perspectives. That would be insane. That would cost like a crap load of money, but it would be insane.
And just to get like the full story, to see everything unfold from all the characters, you should just play Zero Escape, because that's kind of what happens.
Oh man, now I'm gonna go play Zero Escape.
No, but Danganronpa is still a good game in its own right. But I would say Danganronpa is more like Ace Attorney, where if you do make the wrong choice, you just like have to restart from your last checkpoint and then just not make that choice. Whereas in Zero Escape, it is necessary to make the wrong choice to get information that you need to progress in a different timeline.
All right. Well, I think those are the only games I've been playing. I know I finally beat Iconoclast.
You did.
I'm going to say that was an amazing experience of beating the game.
You just felt really good about beating it?
I felt really good about beating it. It was like, I felt so relieved to beat it, and so happy to jump into a couple other games. But
that's funny.
If you want to go play it, it's definitely a good game. It has its merits. Just be warned, you're going to get a lot of dialogue, and that's it.
And I think if you're expecting it, maybe it's okay.
Yeah, if you're expecting it, I think it's fine. I think it's on the level. It's on the level for sure. But yeah, I think we're gonna try a little bit something new. We kind of got into some Japan life already, but I did want to try to do like a top 5 list, maybe introducing some things. I don't know. Try to introduce a couple more Japan life things. We bring like some hard topics sometimes, but we're just give you a list, top 5 list of the best drinks in Japan. Alcoholic or non?
Oh, okay, just in general.
Yeah, in general. At least from us, it's a very subjective. We are not. Maybe one day we'll actually get some facts. But I don't know. What's your top 5? I don't even know how we're gonna do this, but maybe we alternate.
I honestly don't know. That's a tough question. Like, I mean, I drink, and does this include energy drinks or no?
You can include energy drinks.
I don't even know, man. Like 5 drinks that I enjoy, or 5 drinks that I typically drink, because I drink a lot of Red Bull and a lot of Monster. But If I had to go with just enjoyable drinks in general, are we counting Gentai drinks or no?
We got Gentei drinks.
Okay,
Limited.
so Gentai,
Yeah.
I'm gonna say like vanilla Coke because that comes once a year, and I
Mm.
really like vanilla Coke.
Vanilla Coke is
Yeah.
good. Oh wait,
The thing about
there's orange Coke too. There's orange Coke.
oh, I tried that. Yeah, did you?
Yeah. Orange Coke, like the flavors here of orange and vanilla Coke are stronger than in the US because we get vanilla Coke all the time. I've never seen orange Coke, but it's
Yeah.
definitely a more natural flavor in my opinion.
So vanilla Coke in Japan is a limited item. It comes usually once every year, and then it goes away, and it comes back next year. I don't just make it permanent, but so when it's vanilla Coke season, I try to buy as much as I can. Um, it's kind of a basic answer, but yeah, vanilla Coke. And then I used to, um, when I was younger, like 10 to 12 years ago, I used to really like Koo actually.
Cool. Oh, it's kind of like apple juice, orange juice.
Yeah, it's
But
basically like
yeah.
Tang. Like it's just bad juice. Like it's just not. Yeah, it's not orange juice. It's like orange flavored drink essentially.
Mhm.
It's like Tang. Yeah.
Yeah,
So I used to
yeah.
really like that a lot. I would drink a lot of it. And then
Oh
I don't
man.
know. It's so hard, man. It's just like
I'm
just
thinking with the coup, I'm thinking like Natchan.
oh, Nachan. Oh yeah, Nachan's
Not,
good too.
not,
Nachan's really similar, basically. Yeah.
it's a really similar drink. But so like when I first came here and studied abroad, like Natchan was like I was flipping out about this drink.
You was like drinking a lot of Nachan.
I drank a lot of not. There were two drinks I drank a lot of. Natchan was one, and I collected the caps because every cap, Natchan has like a face that
Oh
that
yeah.
it's making. It's like a leaf and like a face, and
Yeah.
it was fun to collect all the different caps. The second one was Match Match. Is it Match Match or is it just called Match?
Oh, Match. Yeah,
Yeah,
Match.
yeah,
It's just called
Match.
Match. Yeah,
It
yeah.
was printed Match Match on the smaller bottle, so I
Because
always called it
yeah,
Match
no,
Match.
because like, well, I've seen one with like 3 matches on it. It's like a match.
And it's an energy.
It's kind of like a sports drink. It's supposed to like revitalize you or something. It used to be in the vending machine at my gym.
I drank so much of it that I got a cavity and
I
melon bread. That was good.
It's funny that you mentioned Match actually, because I was thinking of Match because not the normal Match, but there was I think it's gone now actually, but there was like a special.
The black match.
Yeah, the one with the black can.
Oh goodness, good. I can't do it. Black match was crazy.
I like that a lot. Yeah, I really
really?
liked it. I liked it a lot.
If you're listening, I mean, of course you're listening. Definitely look up these things. Just type in black match. You might not want
No,
to type
it wasn't
in
called
black
it wasn't
match.
called Black Match. No, and that's not gonna get you anything. Like, don't type that in. Like, don't actually type that in. It's not gonna get you what you want. I forget what it's. No, it was like
it was black match. It was.
Well, it was in a black can, but it wasn't called Black Match.
Oh man, I'm gonna be the one to type in black match now.
No, I'm gonna type in like match, like nomi mono, and because it was a certain flavor of match.
And it's very strong too. It leaves it left a burn in the back of my throat. That's why.
No, because it
I
was
just
like
I can't do
the
it.
thing about that can was that it had a cooling effect. Like it would cool your mouth. Like it would make your mouth like really cold.
Yeah, that's why it left that burn in the back of my throat. And I was like,
I
can't
liked that
do
a lot. Like I really liked it.
It was like just like you drink some strong ginger ale and that ginger taste. Like,
Oh no, the ginger ale burns, but match was actually like it felt like a menthol. Oh, here it is. It's called
menthol.
set position. It's called match
set position.
set
Okay.
position. Yeah, here I'll put a link in Discord here. This was the can that I really liked because it had this like intense cooling effect. Like your mouth like would feel like cold.
I think they still sell it actually.
I can't find it anymore.
It's got to be somewhere.
It used to be in the vending machine at my gym, and also like and like a really random like train station vending machine. So when I saw it, I'm like, oh, I want that.
That's how I used to judge the value of a town. If a town had match vending machines, it's all right. It's a good place.
Yeah,
Any place with match is good.
you can see on this can here in this picture, it says like 30秒後に来るなshigeki. So
Yeah,
that's like 30 seconds after you drink it, you'll feel this like cool stimulation or something. Like you'll feel
it was
cold.
stimulating, all right.
I liked it a
Down my
lot.
throat.
So yeah, I want more of that. If it was easily like readily available, I'd probably be drinking it all the time.
I think I guess for me, The Calpis.
Oh yeah. Uh-huh.
Calpis soda or Calpis water. They're both pretty watery, and it's kind of a weird drink because we don't have Calpis in the States. I mean,
It's
you
kind
can
of like
get
it's kind of like yogurt flavor, not yogurt, but it's kind of like a weird
yeah, yogurt
ish kind of,
ish
yeah.
soda yogurt water
Mhm.
thing. But it goes with anything because it's so light. It has like almost no calories in it. It's perfect amount of sweetness. I was I was buying some today, and one of my neighbors, a former student of mine, she's like, "Oh, what are you gonna buy?" I'm like, I'm just gonna get some Calpis." And she's like, "Ah, kawaii." I'm like, "What? Well, how is buying Calpis cute? Like, what is this?" And she's like, "Oh, like a lot of girls drink Calpis." I'm like, "What? What is? Why are you telling me this? Why are you trying to like ruin my favorite drink?" And I'm like, "Well,
Yeah, now it's a feminine drink.
now it's a feminine drink." And I'm like, "What about this Sprite like drink, right?" And she's like, "Oh, like guys drink that." And I'm like, "Okay, well, my number two choice is melon soda." Because you can only get melon soda in like family restaurants or in some vending machines. Like, I don't know why. Anyway, she's like, "That's for kids," and I'm like, "Dang." Anyways, melon
It's
soda
funny.
is my number two.
Did you know that Pocari Sweat apparently, I don't know if it's true or not, I saw like a picture on Twitter, but like Pocari Sweat in North America is trying to brand itself as an esports drink. So it's just called Pocari now, and
That probably makes more sense,
and yeah, just drop the sweat. And then it's being marketed as like
but
like
not
an
as an esports
esports kind
drink.
of drink, yeah.
That doesn't make sense. I mean, okay, so we'll probably just like, I don't know if this was a kind of whack top five list because it wasn't a list, but we did talk about some drinks. I do want to bring up Pocari Sweat versus Aquarius.
Uh-huh, sure.
Do you have a favorite? But they do have a different taste. It's kind of like
They
Gatorade
do,
versus
yeah.
Powerade.
No, Pocari Sweat's a little more, has a little more bite to it. Aquarius is kind of sweeter.
I feel
So
like Aquarius is which one of them tastes like salt? Aquarius?
salt?
Yeah,
That's Pocari Sweat, I would
I
say.
think, yeah, Pocari Sweat has the salt taste to it.
If I'm just at home, I'm gonna say Aquarius rather. But if I'm hungover, Pocari Sweat. Pocari Sweat is like my hangover like
It's your hangover drink?
recovery. Yeah.
I think I'm always on. I was on Aquarius for the longest time, and then I just switched to Pocari Sweat. Like when I started playing sports, I was like, you know what, Pocari Sweat tastes. I don't know.
I think it's better
tastes
for
better.
actual like recovery of your electrolytes because Aquarius is sweeter, I find, and it kind of like sticks to your throat. Like it leaves like
that, like Gatorade, that little gunk in the back.
Yeah,
of your
it leaves
throat.
like a stickiness in your throat. So if you don't want that, I would say Pocari Sweat for sure. But yeah, my hangover remedy is an egg sandwich and Pocari Sweat.
I haven't had a hangover in a while. No, can't say I miss it. Can't say I miss it. But what I can say is that we're gonna take a break, and we're gonna be back after the break.
Sure.
Yep. We'll see you after the break, everybody. Listen to our wonderful voices tell you about how to make a podcast because you can do it. Make 2020 a better year for yourself by making a podcast.
Go for broke!
Just cut you off.
Dang.
Go for broke!
Hey, Jen, never thought about making a podcast?
All the time, except for we are already making a podcast.
No, but I mean like a different one. Maybe a better one.
Sure.
Yeah. So I was on the internet. I was trying to figure out like what's the best host for a podcast or, pretty much how can I make a podcast. And I think I settled on Anchor.
We're already using Anchor, buddy.
Wait, are you serious? Are we actually?
I'm actually serious because it's free. And of course, we're on like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and like Google Podcasts, and so many other places.
Wait, how did
Super
we
easy.
do that though?
Anchor did that for us.
Oh, just like automatically, right? Anchor
Yeah.
will just distribute your podcast for like free?
Exactly. Wait, I thought you did the research.
Yeah, well, I kind of did, but I do know that Anchor will help you make money from a podcast. Cash money.
Cash money grabs. Exactly. That's how we're making money right now, I think.
Absolutely. Like right at this very moment.
At this very moment with this sponsorship.
Well, I mean, also Anchor has some pretty cool creation tools that let you record and also edit your podcast right from your phone or your computer. Because I know you got one of those, probably.
I do have a computer, but I don't have a phone.
Well, whatever. You can still make a podcast because in 2020, there's no reason why anyone shouldn't have a podcast.
Everyone deserves a voice. That's my opinion.
Yeah. Well, Anchor is just everything you need to make a podcast, but just all in one place. You can download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started.
Enjoy the show, everyone. Thanks for listening.
Fight!
And welcome back, everybody. Oh man, here comes the news. Here comes the news. Here comes the news. We need a news song. Like a jingle?
Sure.
Can you make one?
No.
Do you know someone who can make one?
Go to Fiverr.
Wait, what's Fiverr?
Fiverr, FIVERR.com is like a website where you can find like freelancers just like selling their skills. So you can go on there and find like, let's say a music producer. He's like, I will make you a song for, let's say like $100. And then you just like
give him $100?
Yeah, you give this dude $100 on the internet and he's like, all right, what do you want, bro? And you're like, I want a news jingle. And he's like, here you go. And he's like, 1 week later, he's like, here's your jingle. And then,
well, that's pretty good.
Yeah, that's
Okay,
it. It's Fiverr. You can do a lot of stuff on Fiverr. Like I've seen like Fiverr has sponsored YouTube videos where it's like, it's usually stuff like, I paid a random video editor to make me a commercial, or like I paid a photographer on Fiverr to make wedding photos, or I've seen a couple regarding streams. So it's like I got some stream graphics from Fiverr. Let's see how they look or whatever. So you can do you can get stuff from Fiverr essentially if you're not creative enough to make a commercial or a song.
And what you didn't realize is that you just fell into the trap of our new sponsor.
Yeah, no, Fiverr.
Fiverr.com.
No. Yeah, Fiverr.com. That's so funny. Fiverr sponsor us. Yeah, I'll pimp you, man.
See, we already got it. We already got it lined up for you. But last week, it's been a great week for news. Xbox had another showcase for some Xbox 360 games. I mean, Xbox Series X games. Some of them were from the 360. Anyways, they showed off a bunch of games. Everything was essentially either first party titled or a third party title that was exclusive to Xbox. So they showed off 22 games. I watched the entire thing as I was working, and I gotta say they had some pretty cool things to show. They had some pretty wonderful memes that I got from the show from Halo Infinite, because that game had a giant dude's face on the screen for
I like yeah, the trailer was really weird. Yeah, the last weird. Like 30 seconds of the trailer.
Oh man.
Yeah, we can talk about Halo. I think that's probably the biggest thing that people want to talk about. But I think personally the most exciting thing was just like Tetris Effect multiplayer.
Okay, so I have something's confused me about that trailer. I was like, oh my goodness, like, oh crap, that's really cool. Like Tetris Effect, that's really cool. Multiplayer, and it's got this like, okay, I guess everyone can play together, or you can play separate grids or one big grid. I was like, this is cool. But then I realized something. Wait, isn't this game already out?
Tetris Effect is out. Yeah. Tetris Effect has been out for a long time.
And then I was like, oh crap, I own it on PC, which is good for me.
Okay.
All those PS4 people, I'm kind of wondering about something, because the way that they showed this was under, they had their show developed or kind of split into different segments, but this was under the console launch exclusives.
Console launch exclusives? Okay, so it might be just like Xbox first then, and then like other platforms later.
But what's weird is the multiplayer mode of this game is console exclusive. I don't know. I didn't know how to like take it. I was just like, wait, what? Huh? Like,
it'll probably come to PC later. Oh. Yeah, I don't know.
PC is on it too. So okay. I guess to preface all of their trailers is that you have to look for, there's a couple things that are on their trailers at the end of every trailer. Number one is optimized for Xbox Series X. That's one of the things that they try to promote as much as possible. Every trailer has that on it. That lets you know that it's optimized, of course, for Series X. There's also the fact that every game they showed was available for Game Pass, and I think that's a huge.
Yeah, that's cool.
We're gonna have to talk about Game Pass. There's also the Xbox Series X, Xbox One, or Windows 10 modifiers at the bottom, along with Smart Delivery, which means that if you buy it on Xbox One, you'll also get the Xbox Series X version. Now, all of these things, if you look at a trailer, may or may not be included on the trailer. So you have to be careful.
Yeah, like I just remembered Dragon Quest XI S is coming on Xbox Series X. Like it got showed off there. But then Square Enix later was just like, oh, also PC and PS4.
Yep.
So That's cool. I mean, it's really cool for Xbox owners. If you don't own a PC and you don't own a Switch and you don't own a PS4 and you want to play Dragon Quest, now you can play it. But for everyone else, you can actually play it, the definitive edition, on your platform of choice.
Mm-hmm. So I think the biggest thing that came out of this is, and we'll get to the games a little bit later, but Game Pass. Everything is going to be available on Game Pass, except for certain things. If you look at Crossfire X, the single player mode is not available on Game Pass, but the multiplayer mode is and requires Xbox Live. I told you these trailers were crazy. I was paying attention. I was paying attention. But what do you think about Game Pass, though? It's almost just like a Netflix kind of
for video games, yeah.
For video games, which I know, yeah.
Well, one thing that I'm not sure about, but if you stop paying for Game Pass, you lose access to your games, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so it's kind of like PS Plus in the sense that you have these free PS Plus games, but if you stop paying for Plus, you lose access to those games. But once you start paying again, they come back. That's correct?
Not 100%. And I tried to look this up to kind of be a little bit more clarified on it. So it's essentially, it really is Netflix. So every month or every X amount of the time frame that they decide, these games at any given time, and you can look at the list.
The Game Pass is like a huge library. What I mean by Plus is like, if you miss your chance to like buy a Plus game, it's gone forever. You can't get it. But what I mean is like if you stop paying for Plus and then you start paying again, every game that you previously bought now comes back to your library. Is that right? Is that correct?
I think it will come back unless it's not there.
Okay, so Game Pass in that sense is just way more flexible.
It's more flexible. Okay. I think they have like 120 something titles on right now, and it's not the same on PC as Xbox. There's some titles that are on there and that aren't, but yeah, I mean, you're going to be able to play all of their first party exclusive titles minus some potentially on PC or Xbox. I keep confusing Series X and
how much is it per month? Like 15?
I think it's $8. Is it $8 a month?
Like USD though, yeah.
Right. It's relatively cheap.
Yeah, I mean that's really, really good. I mean, it's really dependent on the library, because if it's like,
it's good games. I looked at all the games on the library and I was
if it's actually stuff that you want to play and it's like, and they continue to add more games, and the thing is also if they continue to add new games, then absolutely that's like very, very valuable, and I think that's a good service. So when they're saying like, launches, let's say like December 4th, Dragon Quest, for example. Dragon Quest comes out on December 4th. You can buy it, or it's also Game Pass day one.
Yeah.
And like if every other like big AAA game also launches day one for Game Pass, then that is very useful. Because the thing about PS, like to go back to Plus, I guess, I guess Plus isn't fair. I guess the better equivalent would be like Now or something, but
because the thing with Plus is that you don't get a choice in.
You don't get a choice, and like you only get like old good games. Yeah, right.
You get old good games, and I'm looking on the Japanese Microsoft, like their Game Pass site. I don't know why I'm not looking at the English, but Carrion, yeah, just came out like literally yesterday, 2 days ago.
And that's on Game Pass.
That's on Game Pass. If you like, seriously, Alex, when I was looking at this list, it was like, okay, I'm just on the console right now.
Yeah.
Soul Calibur 6, Carrion, Fallout 76, Wastelanders, Crosscode, Plague Tale. Keep in mind, we're playing two of these games right now. Plague Tale.
Crosscode actually is brand new for console. It's been out for a couple years on PC, but Crosscode's new on console.
Alien Isolation. I know you wanted to play that. That's on there as well. Bloodstain. I wanted to play Bloodstain. I'm like seriously, I'm looking through this and like, Dead Cells, Devil May Cry 5. I'm skipping some things. Dishonored, Double Dragoon. Double Dragoon.
Yeah,
I keep calling it Double Dragoon. Of course, all of the Fable series, but I mean, there's a pretty good wealth of games that I want to play / have played. Indivisible is on here,
for sure. That's absolutely worth it, because like, if it launches with a very strong library of games that are already out, so like you already said, like DMC5 and Alien Isolation, for example, let's say Resi 3 or whatever.
Nier Automata is on this mug.
That's good. And then if it continues to have day one releases on Game Pass, so let's say, for example, like FF7 Remake, just for example, is like you can buy it, or it's also day one Game Pass. If it gets that kind of level of like day one game launches, then I would say there's no question you should probably be subscribing to this.
That's what we're. I mean, that's what they're kind of doing is they have it like that for their first party titles specifically, and anything that's an exclusive. They're kind of trying to promote the Game Pass with it. And now this is different than games with games for Windows Live Gold, games with Gold, which is more like the PS Plus option.
That's different.
That's PS Plus.
Yeah, games with Gold. You're right. That's more like PS Plus, right? Because you don't choose.
Right. Yeah. So I'm actually kind of hyped for that, and we can talk about the games that they showed now. We had, of course, Halo Infinite, and I think you had something that you want to say about Halo Infinite.
Well, I mean, I just feel like that's where all the news, like, people are talking about on the internet. Like, yeah, they announced a lot of games, but a lot of people are talking about Infinite.
Mm-hmm. What are they saying about it?
Well, it looks bad, yeah.
It looks, so here's the thing, like when I first saw this and I went to IGN to look at the trailers, or not the trailers, but the show, and I realized it's, and I didn't look at the direct trailers, but I just looked at, the show or whatever, which had direct trailers, but it's 1080p, 60 frames a second. And we saw this with Sony's conference as well. Like, we're not seeing any of these games at 4K or whatever resolution they're supposed to be.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, that's one thing. For me, I don't care. The second thing is that I'm looking at the game and I'm like, oh, it looks a little rough. It looks a little bit rough. And I'm guessing because it's an open world game, they're taking a little bit of shine off. But Halo, if you think about it, Halo has never, like, Chief's armor has always looked like that. You can't spruce it up much more. It's not even shiny metallic armor. I don't know what you want.
Well, they could make it like they could add scratches to his armor or whatever, and kind of give it a
put some water on his visor, like a NBA player's
sweat.
I
don't know. But like, so a lot of people are talking about the art. It looks really weird. It looks really flat, and I got that impression as well. So when I first saw the trailer, I was like something really struck me about the trailer, that it looked like off at first. I was like, something about this looks really weird. Mm-hmm. And then someone mentioned it, that it's the colors. They look really flat. Like, there's no, it's hard to explain, but I guess, just flat and plasticky kind of, right?
It's very much flat. Like I said, it looks kind of like Halo 1-ish. I don't know how to describe it. It's not vibrant, even though there's colors in the world.
Yeah, it looks really flat and it looks really plasticky. And I think a lot of that has to do with the lighting. So I think someone did this thing where they fixed, like, they photoshopped it. They fixed the lighting and it looks much better. So it's just the way that that particular scene was lit. And I don't know if it's too late down the pipeline to fix it, to change the global lighting. So it's, I don't know, I guess not so so bright and everything's not so weirdly evenly lit or something like that. That might help a lot as well. But
and I don't know, like, and there's something weird, like, and I don't know if this also plays to the fact that it's optimized for Series X, but then there's also the Xbox One version
that they have to think about.
A random Windows version that's like, hey, turn on anything you want. I don't know how much that affects things, but I have to say that all of the games that they showed, none of them really just hit you with like, I need this. Like, none. Once again, but this is supposed to be like the big guns, or at least half of the big guns. The other half are coming.
I think for sure we're starting to hit a point of diminishing returns with console generations. It's not quite the leap we had when we went from like PS2 to PS3. Right. You know what I mean? Going from 4 to 5, PS4 to 5, it's like you can tell that it looks good. It looks better, and I think if you kind of look at footage or screenshots of, for example, Demon Souls, right? Look at Demon Souls on PS3, and then look at Demon Souls Remaster on PS4 or PS5, I guess. Yeah. It looks hot. It looks good. It looks good. So good.
It's night and day. It's night and day.
Yeah. They said, though, that Halo Infinite on Series X is supposed to be 4K 60 frames a second. And if that's true, that's actually impressive.
And I think Sony came out and confirmed that Spider-Man Miles Morales is also 4K
60 frames per
60
second.
frames a second, but then you can also play it with, you can decide if you want performance versus graphics sometimes.
Here's the thing, though, and we have to believe, we have to trust them at this point, that it's actually 4K. It's not using a dynamic resolution to maintain the frame rate. Because if you look at Digital Foundry, like their YouTube channel, if you even haven't seen their stuff, you should really check it out. They do these really good in-depth technical breakdowns of video games. But they did one for FF7, and they had FF7 Remake running on a PS4 Pro, and they broke down the resolution. And FF7 on a PS4 Pro, despite outputting to your TV at 4K, like the 4K signal, it's not actually 4K. 4K. Yeah, they're downscaling it. It's a dynamic resolution to maintain a 30 frames per second frame rate.
Okay.
So when they say Halo Infinite is running at 4K 60, we have to trust them that it is actually a 4K image and it's not using dynamic resolution scaling.
And we won't know that until
it comes out. Yeah.
Until it comes out. And we've had like, and I've been playing Last of Us 2, and honestly, that game looks so good. There are just good moments.
Oh yeah, and you're playing at 1080p, right?
And I'm not even on a PS4 Pro. I'm on just normal PS3 on like a 10-year-old TV, basically. Like, and I'm still awed and amazed by what's happening. But it's like what you said, and it's what I notice a lot is the lighting and the way things are lit and set up in the scenes really helps.
Yeah, really honestly, I think that the way that a scene is lit and the way that lighting, I guess, interacts with the world has this weird effect on how we perceive fidelity, I think. Right? I think if you have seen footage of Control, for example.
Right.
And if you've seen footage of Control running on PC with
everything turned on, the craziness.
With ray tracing, like if you have an RTX graphics card and you've just watched, trying to find a video on the internet of Control running on an RTX graphics card on PC. It has like realistic lighting, and just that, like I think our brains are just like connecting it to like, oh, that's so lifelike, and then it has this weird positive effect on how we perceive the graphics.
Right. And moving down the list, we had a couple other games. I gotta say, Obsidian came in pretty big. And as for Microsoft here with 3 games, not just one. Of course, they had the now why can't I remember the game's name?
Obsidian?
No. Yeah, Obsidian.
I don't know, man.
It's that RPG that came out. Oh,
yeah, Obsidian RPG. Sure, that's really
Obsidian RPG. Well, they're coming out with a new RPG called Avowed, which looks pretty cool. It's a first-person kind of fantasy role-playing game, and that's like their next big thing that they're doing. But they also came up with this little small game, which I thought was called A Bug's Life / Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. That's just actually called Grounded. Which is,
yeah. It looks interesting.
It was kind of funny because it's like, are you waiting for the biggest game of 2019 or 2020? Well, keep on waiting for Cyberpunk 2077.
Yeah, basically.
No, it actually said that in the trailer, and it's just the logo.
Did it really?
Yeah, and Cyberpunk's logo is on there. I was like, what the heck? This threw me off.
That's so weird.
But it's in the in the same vein of those games, the survival build stuff together, kind of.
Yeah, I honestly like. Have you played one of those games? Do you like them? Like Ark, for example, Ark Survival Evolved or whatever.
I played Forest with a friend, and it's just. Yeah. I mean, it's not me. I just don't. I
super don't enjoy that. I remember when DayZ was really popular on PC back when it was still a mod and not a standalone. So it was Arma 2, maybe? I can't remember. But anyway, so DayZ was a mod for Arma, and it was so hot. Everyone's like, you got to play DayZ. It's so good. I'm like, okay, fine. And then I was like, played it, and I was like, this is not fun. This is not fun.
It's I mean, people, if you're into it, you're into it, but if you're not, then you just aren't. Maybe you need story, or maybe
I hated it so much. Yeah, you land in a random spot, you have like a knife, and then like you're like, oh, I gotta find some stuff, let's go find this gun, and you're like, I did it, I found a gun, and then like some dude will come in and just like kill you, and I'm like, okay, that was great, that was a fun 30 minutes. Or you're like running from town to town, and it's like you're running in a straight line for like what feels like forever, and you're just running. I'm like, I don't know how you people enjoy this game.
People do. The game I was thinking of was the Outer Worlds. There we go.
Oh, that one. Yeah, I heard that was good. I heard that was really good.
Yeah. So those are the 3 games Obsidian is working on, and of course, like the Outer Worlds is for all consoles. So
that on Game Pass DLC. As well.
Yeah, it should be on Game Pass.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So that's crazy.
If Game Pass is actually $8 a month, that is, and you buy, or let's say you play a new game a month, that's well worth it.
It's well worth it, especially when you're streaming. It's well worth it.
Sure, or just you go through a lot of video games. Yeah.
I was gonna Psychonauts 2 looked kind of all right. I mean, it was trippy as heck. The Medium, which was the dual reality. What do you want to call this? Medium dual reality. It's where the game is literally split screening itself.
Okay.
And it's a survival horror kind of thing. There were some weird games here. Everwild, which is from Rare, aka this game looks beautiful. I love the art direction with it. I don't know what it's about. Magic people summoning magical things, protecting deers and bringing them back to life in a 4-player party. I don't know. Crossfire, Remedy. This kind of made me laugh. Honestly, a lot of the games that Microsoft showed are all some way dark sci-fi, psychological horror, some type of game. So they all have a very similar color palette. And as you picked up in Halo, there's some like flatness to them for some reason. I don't know. And after all these, I'm like, where is Remedy at? Like, shouldn't Remedy be here? And then all of a sudden, Remedy making Crossfire X. I'm like, huh?
Is this related to Crossfire, that free-to-play shooter, or no? It is.
This is a kind of, I guess, remake
of Crossfire.
Yeah.
Like the free-to-play, the free-to-play shooter that's very popular in China.
Yep, and then Control is going to be doing, not Control, but Remedy is going to be doing the single player for it.
Wait,
that's it. Yeah.
Why
Crossfire X?
This is actually like from the same series as the
Crossfire.
Free to play. Is that like, I can't believe that. That's so weird.
I told you this conference was. This thing was
crazy. All the games to I guess reboot. Why Crossfire? Why Crossfire?
Because I want to sing Crossfire, you can do it. I don't know the last part of that trailer. But anyways, of course, Fable came back, and I think that was probably the best looking trailer that they had. At least it had a lot of colors, and it was vibrant and funny, and all the, it was kind of like the full picture. And also, Phantasy Star Online 2, that got me kind of hyped too.
Oh, the new version, New Genesis, right?
New Genesis, yeah.
Have you played PSO2 or no?
No.
So I was reading a little bit about New Genesis on a Japanese website. And apparently even after New Genesis launches, they're not going to shut down the service for PSO2. So but
you don't need to go?
Your accounts will be playable on both versions, but the games are going to be different. So your character will be like alive, not alive, but like you can use your character on both games, and some items will carry over, but some items won't carry over between the two games. So with one account, you can play two different games essentially.
Interesting, because like this game does look like, I mean, they've pretty much looks like they've redone the engine.
Yeah, it's a new engine. It's a new battle system.
So it's, I guess you can think of something like similar to Overwatch 1 and Overwatch 2, where it's still the same ecosystem, but completely different.
Yeah, so it's two games
kind of tech going on the inside. And
they're not going to shut down the service for PSO2, which is 10 years old at this point. So I don't know who is going to continue to play PSO2. And my question is, like, is Sega going to seriously attempt to
run two MMOs?
Yeah, to run two MMOs, like not just like security and patch updates, but actual new content. Like, is there going to be a reason to go back to PSO2 to be like, hey guys, like let's play PSO2? It's like, oh, I'm in New Genesis. Like, oh, but I want to do this new raid in PSO2. Like, is that gonna happen?
They'll phase it out. Maybe they'll phase it out slowly. I guess we'll know once they decide how much content they're going to, if they're going to put any new content into
the PSO2 Classic, right?
PSO2 Classic, yeah.
Yeah, that's
it is kind of weird because like in the West, it just came out last month.
Yeah, like really recently.
So it's new. And then this new version, I guess maybe next year. I forgot when it comes out next year.
2021.
21.
Yeah.
And then, but for here in Japan,
10 years.
Is like
10 years old.
It's 10 years old. So like we're ready. They're ready for a new game. It's kind of weird. I honestly, I don't know, but it after seeing the battle footage and everything, I was like, yeah, this is kind of hype. I can jump into this.
Yeah, it looks like these huge like boss fights, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It looks fun.
PSO2 New Genesis is going to be out on PS4, PC, and then this what they're calling the cloud version. So that's going to be on the Switch because the Switch isn't powerful enough to run it, so it's streaming. Okay. And if your PC sucks, you can also play a cloud version on your PC.
Everywhere.
So if you're like, if you're at work or something and you're on a work computer, but you want to play PSO2, yeah.
Oh, the perfectness. But we're gonna hop off this Microsoft conference because we summoned Persona 5. Actually, we didn't summon Persona 5. We only summoned Persona 3 Nocturne.
What are you talking about? It's SMT?
I'm making a new game, buddy. That's what I'm doing.
You gotta summon with me, right? Yeah, Persona 5 came out like 4 years ago, by the way, just so you know. Persona 3 came out 10 years ago, so.
Okay.
Way more than 10 years, like 13 years or something, 14 years ago. Yeah.
Alex, just introduce the games.
Well, I mean, SMT5 like was previously announced a while ago, several years ago, I think.
Really?
They just said like, yeah, just like, hey, we're working on it, and then it's like, okay cool. Okay. They announced SMT5 quite some time ago, but like we never got a trailer, we never got any concrete dates or anything for like years and years. And then at Nintendo's mini direct, which was last week or something, like 2 weeks ago, can't remember.
Right, I think on the 23rd of July.
Yeah, so like last week. So Nintendo had a mini direct where they announced a bunch of stuff, and then they had a trailer for SMT5, and it's like, hey, remember this game? We're still making it.
Yeah. So
and it has, it's Shin Megami Tensei 5. It's coming out next year, I think.
Yeah, that's coming out next year, and then Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne is coming out, or HD remaster.
Yeah, remaster. It's also coming out next year as well.
Oh no, that's this year.
Oh, this year?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's cool. October this year. October 29th.
It's quite soon. That's way sooner than I expected. I'll probably pick it up. Yeah, you're right. Wow, October 2020. Ooh, look at that. Sliding. Another game sliding in 2020.
Look at that. 2020's gaming is great.
It's good for games. Yeah, it's good for games, but I mean,
gaming is great. I'm
you to stay home and play video games, right?
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to it. And we talked about this game on the podcast, I think last week or maybe the week before, and how we were hoping if a game were to come back, that we were like, this is a game that we would want to come back after Persona 5. Not Persona 5, but Persona 4 Golden on PC. That was it. That's what sparked the conversation.
To put it on PC. It's not coming on PC, but
yeah, it's coming on a PS4 and Switch.
And the Switch, yeah.
And then Shin Megami Tensei 5 is only on Switch.
It's a Switch only game, yeah.
Switch only game. So I'm looking forward to this, and I think I'll probably pick it up since I wanted to pick it up way back in the day.
Yeah. It looks good. The trailer looks really good. It looks, how you would expect a remaster of a PS2 game to look, but that's fine. I know a lot of people were Persona fans, or they want a remake of 3, but who knows if we'll get that.
Who knows? And speaking of remakes, we're still talking about these remakes. Of course, Final Fantasy VII Part 2 is in full development now, and Famitsu was talking with Nomura and of course a couple of the other key staff in the series, and he's like, Nomura's like, we want everyone to know. We know that everyone wants the next installment quickly. We also want to deliver it as soon as possible. Since we are able to see the line of quality from the first installment, we hope to make the next installment even better in quality, that we can make it for a better experience. And,
I think they can, because I suspect the second part will be PS5, right?
Yeah, they have to. They have to.
Yeah, and, so with that headroom, they can for sure bump up the quality. Maybe it'll run at 60 frames. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe just do the basic things, and then we'll still be happy, because that game was still solid. Yeah,
the game was great. It's probably still my favorite game of this year.
And Kitase is saying, of course, the news story, and we didn't do our spoiler cast, but the news story of Final Fantasy VII has only just begun.
Oh, good. I mean, so I guess we didn't really talk about FF7 at length. We talked about a little bit on and off, but like,
right.
How do you feel about the ending? Are you
all right? So
are you pleased with how it's going, or?
Yeah, so spoilers. If you don't want to listen, tune out for like 5 minutes and then come back. So I love the ending. I don't care. Look,
You
I'm
really like
not
the
some
ending,
I'm
yeah.
not some diehard enthusiast on this. Look, my boy Zach is alive. Bump it. I want to see him and I want to play. I'm ready. Sign me up. I like geeked out when I saw Zach walking past Cloud, and I'm like, oh my goodness, he's not dead now. Because like
Yeah,
at the
so
end
he
of that
survived,
fight,
or he's presumed yeah,
presumed.
we presume that he survived that fight.
Yeah,
Right.
and in all actuality, he could still be dead.
He can still be dead. Yeah,
he can still be dead. We don't know
he
how
might have
long
died
ago
later. Yeah,
this was.
yeah.
But essentially, yeah, like when you're fighting what are they called, the Fates or Destiny, whatever,
The Arbiters of Fate.
the
Yeah.
Arbiters of Fate. You're essentially taking out moments of like key moments from
the original timeline.
of the original timeline. For example, and it kind of confused me at first because the first one is Red 13, and he's running along with his kids, and
Which is the ending of
the
7,
ending
right?
of 7, yeah. And I'm like,
yeah.
and then after that he says, these are the things that will happen
If we fail.
If we fail, and I'm like, what?
Yeah.
What? Hold up. And then after that, of course, you see Aerith, Cloud holding Aerith above the lake, or I forgot where
in the Temple of the Ancients,
Temple
right?
of Ancients, where she's of course been killed by Sephiroth.
Yeah, spoilers.
Like after that, spoilers on the spoilers. And so you take that memory out, and I think there's one other memory that happens as well. And I'm like, what's happening?
Yeah. So that's
oh my goodness. And the whole thing is like, if you go back to it, they're going down some complete alternate timeline crap, because Aerith is like, all right, guys, we're going to leave. And we might not be able to make it back to this timeline, basically. But we're going to try our best to change this stuff. Because that's the other one. Sephiroth gets the meteor.
He's not supposed to show up that early. I mean, they probably put him in Remake because people were expecting a fight with Sephiroth in Remake.
I wasn't expecting it.
Yeah, in the original game.
I was surprised I was like, because they bait you with it. They bait you with Sephiroth, and then at the very end, or not the very end, but towards the end, it turns out like, okay, this is just like a voice of the planet that might have been manipulated by Sephiroth into
like
his
when he
form.
takes over that clone or whatever, right?
Right, and then my man came down. I was like, oh my goodness, I'm about to lay the smack down on you, and that fight was fun. Other than the fact that I mis-equipped my materia because I didn't know who was going into battle.
Oh yeah, it's not random, but like everyone has not everyone, but you get a different party depending on who you like spent time with and stuff and your answers. But
yeah,
no, that's good. I think for me it was really interesting, particularly when Red 13 says like this is what happens if we fail. So he's saying basically the ending of the original game is what happens if we fail this fight. And as a player, you don't fail that fight. So,
but then there's also like kind of what we think about, right? If we fail, we don't know what he actually means. If it's because he doesn't say this fight.
He just says like this is what happens if we fail. Yeah.
And they're in that they're in like an alt timeline or something in there, right? Like they're in an alt dimension. I don't really.
They kind of step through that gate or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. And so when they come back, did they come? Obviously, they didn't come back through. I think they're gonna make the story the same, and I think the story's gonna end the same.
Really?
I think people will still end up dead who were supposed to be dead, because then again we had was it Biggs that came back?
Biggs survived. Wedge survived and maybe died. I don't know, but
no, we don't know where. We don't know where Wedge. Where you at? Ghost Jesse, where you at, girl?
Yeah, but Biggs survived, so yeah, that's obvious. That's obviously already a change. We've already seen a change there. I think Wedge is still alive. I feel like it would be mean to be like, hey, he's actually alive. Actually, no, he's dead.
Well, he has a chance because I think Biggs was also taken. Was Biggs taken by the Phantoms? The wraiths?
Maybe. No, I think he just he just died. Yeah.
He just died. Him and Jesse just died. Well, Jesse got taken by the
No, I thought she just exploded because you don't see her. No, you don't. She dies in Cloud's arms.
Yeah, and I feel like she got taken by them or something.
No,
I don't know. I have hope that my girl Jessie coming back, and this is why. And this is one funny little fact.
In the interview, yeah.
In the interview,
she's surprisingly popular.
I'm sorry, this is not about Jesse, but it was kind of funny. Apparently, Madam M's massage scenes weren't allowed to go any further to keep the rating. I'm like, you wanted that to go
really?
further? You wanted Cloud? That made me squeamish. Cloud going, oh.
No, I
was
loved
like,
it.
Cloud,
I loved
don't do
it.
that anymore. Don't do that. But yeah, so Famitsu had a survey as well from August, from the August issue. But the survey ran from June 26th to July 2nd, polling about 2,938. That's a very specific number of people. I guess not everyone answered. And, just about Final Fantasy VII Remake and what they thought. Now, there's a bunch of stats here, but we're just going to go over some fun ones. Favorite enemies or enemies that left the greatest impression. 492 people said the Hell House is Hell House is number one. Obviously Hell House. That thing was whack. That was whack. If you didn't have the right material to, it was even more whack.
It was hard if you didn't have the right material.
So Hell House was number one. Number two was the Rufus.
I was gonna say Rufus for sure. Yeah.
Rufus shooting them. Hey, let me flip these coins.
Yeah, the coins.
I was like, bruh, this is too hard. This is hype. And then I'm like, bro, what are you wearing? What is this, belt dress? What is this?
Oh, he's wearing like a coat kind of thing. Yeah.
Wearing a coat something. Number three was Bahamut. Like 101 people.
Oh, the Bahamut. Summon fight?
I didn't get to that one.
I didn't do it either.
I don't even know where to get Bahamut. I'm like, man, I need to reinstall this so I can go get Bahamut. Leviathan was a hype fight. Leviathan's not on the list, surprisingly.
Oh, really?
Even Toneberry, the Reno fight, Whispers, the Motorball Roach.
Tomberry.
Yeah, the Toneberry fight was...
Tomberry shanked me, man. I died.
He shanked me a lot. He shanked Air so many times.
Yeah.
I'm going to call him Sephiroth because that man was he shanked everybody. And for favorite characters, the top 10, we can just go all through all of these. I don't even know how some of them are in here. Number one, of course, Cloud, Tifa, Aerith, Jessie. It's all right, my girl. You up there. Barrett, Sephiroth is after Barrett, and then Reno, Red 13, Rufus, and Zack. How did Zack even get to be in the list?
Yeah, she was in for a split second.
There were people like me who just like geeked out like at that point, like, oh my goodness, Zack. They're a real soldier. Bumpy
So I'm hoping we'll see part two. I don't know. Hopefully 2020. Like honestly, I know it's really wishful thinking, but I would love to play part two in 2021.
Yeah, wishful thinking is the best thinking. 2022. 2022. I think we get spring 2022.
2022, 2-year gap between each game.
We get a 2-year gap, at least between this one. I think maybe the next one after that, they can just go ahead and finish it. I don't think they'll be changing anything with the engine. And honestly, this was done on Unreal Engine 4. It depends on if they just want to fix up Unreal Engine 4 or move over to Unreal Engine 5.
It depends. It depends on how easy it is to start working on 5. Because I know, I believe, I don't make video games. I haven't. But I believe the jump from 3 to 4 was a little bit difficult for some developers.
Okay.
So if the jump from 4 to 5 is also, similarly hard, then they might not want to do that jump. They might want to stick to 4.
So that's the thing. And also, if you are a PS Plus subscriber, you may have found $10 in your account. I haven't found no $10.
No, I haven't either.
It's pretty random. No one knows why. It's the anniversary. But what you do have in your account is Erica. Get it while it's there.
I'm going to say don't. Yeah, I'm going to say do the opposite. Just let
free.
it. Here's the thing. I usually buy, like, quote unquote, buy all the Plus games every month, even if I don't intend on playing them.
Right.
I did not do that for Erica.
That's because I did. I took the hit. I took a hit. I explored.
You should, honestly, man, you should just add Zero Escape, the games to your wish list on Steam, and when they go on sale next, you should get them.
I think I'm definitely the AI Somnium Files. I'll try that one
But
first.
do you like puzzle rooms though? Because there is a puzzle room component to those games.
Let's give it a try. I can give it a try. Everything is worth a try. I tried Erica. See, everything's worth a try.
But so there is a puzzle room component to Zero Escape. Whereas if you play Danganronpa, there isn't the choose which choice. There's no choice mechanic in Danganronpa. There's just the investigation part of the game where there's a murder basically, and you're gathering evidence, and it's like you found a hair, or like you found suspicious window, or you found bloody knife or something.
Right.
And then there's the investigation part of Danganronpa, and then you gather all your evidence, and then you have the courtroom kind of battle thing where you're Danganronpa-ing, which is a Japanese mashup word, which means Dangan is bullet and Ronpa is like logic. So you're refuting statements, basically.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, in like it's kind of like an action mechanic. So in the courtroom, people will be saying like a bunch of stuff. There's sentences that'll show up on screen, and then you have to load. I know it sounds really dumb, but this is what happens. You have to load your like truth gun with the truth bullet that will properly refute that statement. So one guy's like, "Oh, like I saw him, in the kitchen," and then you can load a truth bullet that says like he was in his room at that time. So you can like shoot his statement with the bullet that will basically break that logic. Yeah.
I feel like there was a title in there somewhere. I was listening like for a title moment.
Just like
the truth.
Bullet. The truth bullet. The truth bullet.
There we go. The truth bullet.
So that's Danganronpa. So you have an investigation part of the game, and then you have the courtroom battle. And then with Zero Escape, you have like the visual novel part of it, and then you have the escape room part of it.
The escape room part of it. Okay. Well, I'll check out one of the two when they go on sale on Steam. One of the series.
They'll probably what's the next summer? Not summer sale. It's over.
When is the next summer sale?
It would be Black Friday.
Oh yeah,
it would be Black Friday. So Christmas, that's your next sale. Yeah.
Christmas, Black Friday. And then finally in the news, of course, I don't know why why G4 is coming back in any year. Apparently 2021. I'm not sure what they're going to be doing. Honestly, G4 Attack of the Show, if you ever watched that, or X-Play. And I watched the network when it was Tech TV, and then of course it's G4. And it was like they're kind of only gaming network kind of thing. Showed some cool anime and played the same 3 shows over and over. But hey, it'll be back, and who knows what's going to happen. I guess you
can watch it. Yeah,
you can watch those 3 shows over and over again. But what you definitely should get on is this Cowboy Bebop OST on Spotify.
Oh yeah, it's on Spotify now. Yeah,
all of it. Get on it.
I'm typing that in like right now.
Get on it.
There it is.
Jam on. All those songs are amazing.
Oh,
like seriously, one of the best soundtracks in anime history.
Yeah. Nice.
Unless you just like Carol and Tuesday, which is one of the most diverse anime soundtracks in anime history. But yeah, anytime you can get your hands on
Cowboy
Bebop, get it, do it. It's amazing. Best anime of 2020.
Cool.
It's not even out in 20. And finally, I got to give a shout out to a lot of our podcast friends out there on the Twitterverse. Thanks for always supporting us and everything. Drive with us podcast for having me on as a guest. You'll be able to hear that a little bit later when it launches. And of course, What's Your Spaghetti Policy? Those guys are pretty awesome. I've been talking to them on and off. Console Gaming Crew joining their streams. Actually, one of their hosts is playing Alien Isolation now, so something I checked that out on their Twitch. And the Tinish podcast, that's another one that I've kind of found on the Twitterverse, or that they've reached out to us. Now, I'm not like the biggest podcast listener, but I somehow found like, hey, there are other podcasts than my normal podcasts, and I don't know, it's just really good. I'm feeling like we're forming a community now.
Yeah. So I'm listening to the Cowboy Bebop soundtrack right now.
Alex is like, you keep on doing that spiel, bro.
I'm just going on Spotify right now. It's going through the soundtrack, but yeah.
And of course, you can always follow us on Twitter, Instagram at UGP_cast. You can also check out the YouTube for highlights of each episode, and that's Unknown Games Podcast. Yeah, follow us, leave us a message, talk to us on Anchor. We got the anchor.fm/UGPcast. Leave a voice message. Let us know what you're playing and I don't know, just leave us a voice message. We want to hear from you. And that's about it for episode 43. That's it. Alex, you got anything? You want to sing part of the Cowboy Bebop OST?
No, but it's really good.
Not even
you should
Tank?
Watch Cowboy Bebop. Yeah, I listened to Tank that whole time you were talking.
Oh,
Just the opening theme, so good.
My middle school brass band played that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, our jazz band. I thought we were so cool because I was like, oh snap, we're playing Tank.
Tank's so good.
In the anime.
Did you see the movie? We talked about it, I think. You saw the movie,
We talked
right?
about the movie. Yeah.
Yeah, movie's so good. Anyways.
No, we should just go play. We should go watch Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah. Is it on Netflix? I want to double check. I think it might be.
It probably is.
I hope so.
It's on one of those streaming services. Anyways, everybody, go enjoy your day, your night, or wherever you're listening to us at. Drive safe, or I don't know, just go look at Cowboy Bebop. Go play some Chrono Trigger.
Yeah, you should for sure play Chrono Trigger. Yeah, it's on Netflix.
Persona Shin Megami. You should play that one too. It's not out yet, but Shin Megami Persona 5. It's a good game. Coming one day.
Did you just say Shin Megami Persona 5?
It's coming one day. I'm summoning it.
You're just making games up now.
Anyways, everybody, enjoy your day. That's it for us now. I can't say anything else. You set the tone. Go play some games, have fun, and we'll catch you next week for episode number 44 of the Unknown Games Podcast.
All right, peace.
K